What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony2times, and we back with another video, man. And today we're going to take it to the Bronx, New York, and we're going to talk about the infamous Preacher Crew with the notorious gangster Clarence Headley, aka Preacher, as the head of the gang. Let's get into it. Notorious gangster Clarence Headley, aka Preacher, and his crew is extorted, kidnapped, and even killed to gain notoriety and street cred. Through the Bronx and Harlem, New York, Preacher's top lieutenant and goon was a former housing cop police officer named John Cuff. The crew was vicious and violent, with the streets nicknaming him Preacher and his crew the Black Hand of Death. They vowed to make money and have clout by any means, including selling crack, cocaine, PCP, heroin, and other drugs. Preacher called his hitters and cleanup crew the Janitors because any problems, they would come clean it up. And also after murders, they would come clean up the scene, leaving it spotless. The crew operated from apartments in the Bronx, New York. Preacher did not have any picks. He targeted some of the biggest drug dealers in New York, making them pay for safety, even rappers and singers. It was said that the crew once kidnapped singer Bobby Brown and held him for ransom over a drug debt that some say the late great Whitney Houston paid in full. Preacher was definitely one of them dudes in the streets with respect and people even scared just of his name being mentioned. In the early 1990s, New York police and FBI formed a task force to take down the crew, who by this time had been involved in over 45 homicides. Not long after Preacher and his top lieutenant John Cuff entered pleas to avoid the death penalty. Under the plea bargaining made in February 1999, 47-year-old Preacher pleaded guilty to racketeering and murder conspiracy in connection with 13 bodies. Preacher did not want to go to trial to spare his family from seeing him possibly getting executed. Preacher also was said that he wanted to leave a good image for his kids, so that he didn't want to take them through that. Preacher is currently incarcerated in federal prison in Coleman in Florida. Now, I don't know if y'all heard about the Preacher Crew in Bronx and Harlem, but if y'all remember Paid in Full, if y'all remember Rich Porter's uncle, he was down with the Preacher Crew. That was their man. That's who set up the kidnapping of Darnell. You know, that's how vicious they was. They kidnapped kids, they chopped his finger off, they sent it to the McDonald's, and they actually killed Shorty when they realized that Rich wasn't coming back with the money, that he was dead. So man, this crew right here, they was infamous in New York. You know, they had people terrified. Like they said they had a basement, like a torture chamber where they just tortured people, like cut off fingers, cut off limbs. People basically saying if you went in that basement, you weren't coming out alive. You know, Preacher was also cutthroat. You know, he killed one of his top lieutenants because he thought he ratted. But the dude actually didn't even rat. But back in them days, man, dudes was tying up loose ends. They ain't want to leave no witnesses. And sometimes it just got dirty and ugly like that, you know. So a lot of people say if you went in that basement and you went down there first, you weren't coming back out. And that's crazy, man. Preacher got a son that's still out here. You know, he doing interviews and he talking about how it was growing up around that and stuff like that. But man, this one of them stories or one of them groups that just is crazy, because at the end of the day, man, for somebody to be that violent, take that many lives, and be that street, but then when you get in front of the courtroom, you know, they said Preacher testified and told on some people, and he ain't want to die. You kill all them people, but you ain't want to die. That's crazy, man. But y'all know I bring y'all this information. We don't do no telling. We don't do no snitching. It's public information. I bring this to y'all so y'all can know what's going on, what happened in these streets back in the earlier days. And ain't nothing changed, man, but the years. So I appreciate y'all for watching, fam. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Leave your comments below about the Preacher Crew. Man, y'all go follow me on the Patreon account. We doing something new. We gonna have tiers, you see what I'm saying? The more high you are in the tiers, the more content you get to see, the more behind the scenes. You can even talk to me one-on-one. You can give me video ideas, whatever you want to do. So y'all be sure to go sub to that, man. Appreciate it. Love y'all, fam.